Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints on various topics. Our topic for discussion is how can schools help teachers to avoid burnout? To express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Ms. Harjinder Kaur, Principal of Meerut Public School for Girls, Meerut Cant. A very warm welcome to you. So good to have you here, ma'am. Thank you for taking out your precious time for us.
Thank you, Sakshi. And I would really like to thank NTAB for inviting me and having me on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And, to start off with the session, I would directly, come to a question which says, what is burnout and what causes it?
As we know, teachers, we all know that teachers are the pillars of society. They are pillars of any school. The best of the schools are best because of the teachers that they have. And they are the builders of nation. And they hold a very dignified position. And in return, I think it's very important that we uphold their dignity. So when we talk about, they have a very monotonous kind of work in school in most of the time, because of which sometimes we talk about burnout of teachers. Now, when we talk about burnout is basically a simple task, finding it very difficult to do. There's a lack of motivation in doing. There's a sluggish way of doing. So burnout is more related to losing interest, feeling demotivated in what the teacher used to feel earlier rather than what the teacher used to feel earlier. So the same teacher who was very motivated maybe at some point of time now feels very sluggish about the same kind of work and goes very slow in it, feels lethargic, feels exhausted, and would like to do away with it. So that's what we call as burnout. The causes may be many. Now, there may be causes at a personal level, maybe health issues, it could be family issues, and at professional level, it could be load of work, a lot of workload, and it could be maybe the boss, change of boss, or it could be something like, losing efficiency. There's no reason, absolutely no reason, but it is just happening because of age. It's as the age, as it goes ahead, so one feels that one is doing the same monotonous work and so feels burnt out. So these are causes, and this is what we call burnout as. Yes.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, like you said, ages. So monotony is one thing, people just feel, okay, we are doing it back and forth. It's like a cycle which keeps on rotating back and forth, and which can, I guess that is one of the best reasons, or the major reasons, I would say, not the best, but the major reason why people feel burnouts in their, monotony of life, where
Yes,
everything is just
absolutely.
happening at a constant cycle, which is, constantly being into the same, it's like a watch, which is, it has this own school of, thought, wherein you have to, one is one, two is two. So each time you keep on repeating it is creating a monotonousy, and obviously age is something, and health is something which keeps on deteriorating the
Yes,
more we
absolutely.
live with it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
ma'am, how can schools help teachers to avoid it?
See, there are several ways that we can help teachers. In fact, this is one of the very, very responsible tasks as the head of the institution. That's what I feel, because it's the teachers who uphold the school in the best possible way. As I said, the best of the known schools, they are known because of the staff that they have. So it's very important. There's something called HTR. HTR stands for hiring, training, and retaining. So that HTR factor should be very strong in a school. These training sessions that we have with teachers, these are the sessions which actually bring in newness into them. there are new things to learn. It's like if I'm giving something, I need to have also with me, because I need to be refurbished with something new. Only then do I feel better. We say that a candle burns itself to give light to the others. It goes with teachers. Teachers burning oneself day and night. It's doing a lot of assessments and teaching and looking after the students. There are n number of things that the teacher has to take care of, and the teacher feels burnt out. I mean, end of the day. So it's refurbishing. These training sessions are refurbishing. Having a little fun once in a while, having get-togethers, collaborative efforts. Whenever there's collaboration of planning of lessons and there's a discussion, debating, all these things actually add on to what is required. It's basically recharging oneself. The teachers get recharged. And also in some cases, some teachers, they feel that they are just being dictated and they do the work. That's it. They don't have a voice of their own. They would like to share their opinions. They would like to they have good points with them so that they can take up some decisions. Maybe these small decisions like who's going to take care of this or who's going to take charge of so and so. So sometimes, it's the sense of responsibility. That sometimes we give responsibility, a small responsibility to a particular teacher, and the teacher feels, rejuvenated, and then starts performing well. So it's basically it differs. Some teachers with responsibility, they grow. Some teachers, by lessening their burden a little, workload, they grow, and they don't feel. They feel very motivated, and some of them, it's just a little treatment, like helping them. It's basically acknowledging the little worth that they've done with students. If we acknowledge that in the assembly in front of the others, I think that's the best time for a teacher. The teachers are overjoyed. So these are things which, as a leader, school leader, I feel I am supposed to do. It's my responsibility to take care of this, to ensure that my teachers are always motivated, recharged, and full of energy and full of enthusiasm. It's extremely, extremely important. I give a lot of importance to the training part, because in training, all these things are taken care of at a time. So, and also they get support of each other, they talk to each other. So they have fun and they learn a lot. And in fact, they share a lot also. Maybe they're talking to each other, they share a lot with each other. So these are the times that the teachers get most rejuvenated. And this should continue to occur from time to time in the entire session. Whenever we have a span of a few days where there's no teaching happening, let's have some training sessions wherein teachers training. In this sense, we can also have a get-togethers. We can have some learning happening by getting together. So such times are actually very refurbishing time for the teachers.
Absolutely, ma'am. Learning could be anything. It could be personal learning or professional learning.
Yes.
So, ma'am,
professional.
So, ma'am, what I feel is, fitness could be mandatory for teachers, I suppose, ma'am, because if you talk about being lethargic, or you talk about the monotony, or you talk about the fitness or the age, if you talk about teachers to retain. So to retain a teacher over a period of time, you should have that fitness also, which is a major factor.
Absolutely.
So what I feel is like this is a culture where corporates have gyms to encourage to have a fit, staff around. So I feel teachers also should deserve that, because there are times they don't find time because of the family, because of the timings. They have to be at a place, and the XYZ factors which anybody and everybody has in their own personal lives. So what I feel is this factor, which is generally schools restrict this to students, but what I feel is this can also play a major role when it comes to teachers being active and motivated and to do something out of their box.
I'll tell you, recently this year only we had a Women's Day celebration. So we did have walkathon for teachers. So early morning, 6 a.m., all the teachers were here, and we had a 3 kilometer walkathon for them. And I just can't tell you how rejuvenated everybody, like they were all, they said for the first time we've experienced, some of them, they said for the first time we've experienced such a thing. And they were all extremely, extremely happy. I think these are instances which bring in that newness, which are very much required for teachers. And as educationist, as the head of the institution, I strongly recommend this. And I feel it's my duty, my responsibility to look into these factors on a regular basis. Very true. You've rightly said, the fitness, the health, not only physical health, the mental health. And of course, counselor, not only for students, but also for teachers.
Absolutely.
So that's a big support system for teachers, because they do also need counseling. They need that support. They need that mental health resource. So we must have such resources for teachers too.
Absolutely, ma'am. That is what, bringing me to the question which says counseling or support for teachers in campus. How can it help, in cases like these?
So it really helps, because even teachers have to vent out certain issues of their own, or maybe they do not get time, or they are not able to share with somebody. They don't know how to come out of the situation that they are juggling with. So the counselors do help in a big way to the teachers also. So once in a while, maybe once in a month, we must have a counselor available with our teachers also, or maybe on call as and when required. Of course, we do have counselor for the teachers too. Yeah, absolutely. And she caters very well. And many teachers have come out of the kind of little depressions that they have had. So it's a very happy moment when we see that teacher has come out of something which was troubling her again and again. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's a very good So if you talk about teachers, we barely give the credit what teachers are supposed to get in terms of focusing everything towards student centric thing, as in, as it comes to the masses. But what about the teachers? Though we have, every school has a handful of teachers if we talk about, but there are certain situations, because there could be family, there could be professional, there could be personal, there could be any XYZ factor that keeps on demotivating them or discouraging them, or triggering them to a fact that they are not able to concentrate. So having a counselor, not just for students, having a support group, not just for students, but ma'am, what I think, so it just came in my mind, we can have support groups in schools, right? We can have support groups and support meetings wherein all the teachers can gather and vent out in whichever way possible, because that could help, give us a helping hand. Coming to another question is, how can teachers help each other? I mean, this could be one of the ways, right?
Yeah, this is, I have already mentioned, teachers can help each other only. See, in school, school is a time bound system. And of course, there are fixed number of periods. Teachers are most of the time busy. In case they have 1 or 2 free periods, they are into checking or doing their other part of the work. So it's very difficult for them to find time. So I think it is very important for us to understand what is the available time, to find that available time and make it available to the teachers to have, interdepartmental meetings or maybe interdepartmental activities for themselves. Like recently, we had rejuvenating just before the session. We had a session where the teachers, it was just a rejuvenation session that we had, and we had little games and role plays for the teachers. A very, very if I give you the examples, they're very funny also, and very mind-blowing sessions, and the teachers had a really good time before the session began. So such sessions actually bring about a change in them, and of course, giving time to them, as I said, it's extremely important for us.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's just like choti
Yeah,
choti
yeah.
khushiyan, right? So
Choti choti khushiyan. We have to look for those days. We should not be missing out on those times and those days. That's very important for us.
absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah. So stuff like very very small stuff. So like you said that you had a rejuvenation session,
yeah.
prior to the commencement of the session. Even then, you could see though they are adults, but they can be the most smallest kid in
Mostly.
the, you know,
There's a child in everyone. There is a
exactly.
child in everyone. Yes.
Yeah, so that could be the, so I've seen adults behaving like kids. It's like
Yeah.
somebody has let them go out of their playgrounds, and if somebody was keeping them back something, they just go like a kid who's been trapped inside something and not being allowed to go outside and enjoy the world. It's just that feeling comes across when everybody is into their peers and have that liberty of happiness, and people around where they can play, they can talk, they can do whatever. So
Yes.
it's a feeling which
Yeah.
gives in and creeps in, and gives you a liberty to just experience the happiness around.
Experience the happiness around. Right. Very true. Very true. And we this is something that we should be giving to our teachers: a little autonomy, a little responsibility, a little decision making uh, time, maybe related to the curriculum, maybe related to number of periods, and then other than that, a little enjoyment also once in a while. So all these things, I think, keep them away from this burnout that we call. It's a very negative term that I would not like that to creep into the school. But yes, we have to take care of it, because sometimes it is unnoticed at our level, and it is unnoticed to the one who is facing it. Also, one doesn't get to know what's happening to me. But it's we who it's very important that we take care of this, because ultimately, not only is the teacher suffering, but it is ultimately the students also who are suffering, may be suffering, which we don't know. So it's very important that change should not continue like this. So teachers have to be taken good care of.
Yes,
Their
ma'am.
mental health, their physical health. Luckily, I'm in a school where our management is also very, very particular about the mental health of teachers also. I mean, they keep telling us to hold sessions of this kind where teachers can rejuvenate themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's the entire management, that has
Yes.
to come
Yes.
along and get together and work on
Yes.
a common platform to have these things.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
the best takeaway we could have from this session is to look out for choti choti khushiyan, the little things that we miss, the little
Yes.
happiness
That.
that we require
Yes.
in life, and look forward towards it in any sort of mediums. So, ma'am, with this session, thank you so much for coming here and just embracing this session with such a beautiful knowledge wherein we can have, and it's basic, it's simple, but we don't really talk about. We don't really want to follow that, though we know
Right.
everything what's happening around the world. But still, again, thank you so much, Harjinder ma'am, for
Thank
taking
you.
out this precious time and
Thank you.
sharing this knowledge and giving this insightful session. Looking forward to much more from your end, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And with this note, I, Sakshi Jain, the host of this afternoon, would like to sign off. Promising to come back with yet another insightful and fruitful session for you guys. Thank you so much, guys, for having us. Do subscribe our channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications. Have a great day.